How's it going, guys? Kevin back at you with another clipless setup here. This is for the new Losi 5IVE-TE 3.0. So I've got the hood already off here so I can show you guys really quickly how it works. Basically, you just reach underneath, slide these here towards the inside, and that essentially locks the front in. And then the rear, very simple, just a little twist lock right there, and then the rear is accessible. And then to basically undo it, twist, reach underneath, because again, you're not gonna have the hood. Basically just push this towards the rear, like so, and then you will have to reach underneath, pop these loose, of course. And that is one of the reasons why I went with a twist setup and not a latching setup this time. So you can see there's nothing modified on the bottom side over here, and then this part is bolted in on this side. I took a bolt out to show you guys the hardware requirements, but there's two bolts, one that goes on either side. So now I'll show you guys all of the parts that it comes with. Just wanted to make a quick note. After some further testing, I extended the length of these two pieces for the front just a little bit. This just helps the front end be a lot more secure when you do take a front end nose drive. So with that, all the hardware, everything else is the same, but just wanted to jump in. So you'll see these pieces are a little bit shorter in my video, but after some testing, I've just lengthened these. So here's what you're gonna get in the kit for the plastic version. These are the two front upper pieces. There's a left and a right side to it. The two lower pieces are identical. You'll get an M4 by 25 millimeters along with lock nuts. You'll also get M5, just regular nuts. And then for the rear, you're gonna get the two plastic pieces. This is the larger piece and then the swivel piece, an M4 by 25 millimeter, and then M5 by 30 millimeters. So when we get into the install here, the reason we're missing the two M5 nuts is the M5 bolts that you're gonna actually remove from here. And you can see I don't have the one installed right now. That's what's actually gonna get installed on the front cage and bolted through. So let's jump to the cage and I'll show you what that looks like. So for the front end, this is super simple and easy as always. You can see on the far side here, we're gonna have our M4 by 25 millimeter with our lock nut, and that's gonna be the same on both sides. So I would recommend just bolt that in together first. You want this to have some resistance, but you don't want it to be very difficult. You wanna be able to push it with one finger, but if you just kind of bump it, you don't want it to move. So up here, the bolt that you actually remove out of the cage is the same bolt that you're going to use. So you're gonna use that same bolt to put it back in. And then this M5 by, I believe, 20 millimeters is gonna go with the normal nut on the back side, as you can see, and you're gonna snug that up nice and tight. You can put Loctite on it if you want, but that should stay nice and pretty solid. And that is essentially your front end install. On the rear end, it's super simple. You just remove those M5 by 20 millimeters and then bolt this down. You have the M4 by 25 millimeter bolt as well as the lock nut, which is essentially just gonna drop in that little slot. So make sure you put it the correct way up. It can be a little tricky, so I recommend just doing this off of the truck here. So you'll see it'll drop in, but then of course it can drop the whole way through. So I recommend you just doing that off the truck. And once you have that bolted on, again, same resistance. You want it to move with some resistance, but not too much that you can kind of flick it and it's just gonna rotate on you. And then you'll bolt that down to the truck. And then your install is pretty much done. So pretty simple, straightforward. I am planning on working on a metal version. That one, unfortunately, just because it's metal and CNC machined, and as you can see, there's many parts, it is gonna be a lot more expensive, but for those of you who are super hardcore bashers and you want this thing to be indestructible, that will be the metal one. For 95% of people who are just gonna drive this normally, the plastic version is gonna hold up more than fine. This is Tough 2000 version 2 from Form Labs. So it's way more impact resistant than the original version, and it's got a super strong tensile strength. So it is going to be quite durable. And again, with this truck, most of the force is gonna be going through these side pins. So these basically just help prevent the body from rattling around and moving too much. I can pick up the truck without the side latches in. So I'll lift that up here so I can just show you guys that, just to show how strong these are, but it's not something that I would recommend. And if you know you're gonna send this thing off 10, 20 plus foot jumps and crash it and have a hard time, then I would recommend waiting until I release the metal version. So let me throw that on. I'll not latch the sides, and then I can show you guys just picking up the truck just based off of these latches alone. Again, it's not something I recommend, but I'm just kind of trying to show you guys how strong these parts actually are. All right, so Right now we have everything latched. So we have the front end latch. You can see these are swiveled in, so turned in just like that. They're nice and locked on both front and the left, the front right and left. And then the rear, this piece as well. So that's to open it, and then that's to lock it. Right now it is latched in place, so if I pick it up, this is all that force through the metal post. However, if I unlatch it and then pick it up, you can hear it latch there when I set it back down. And so that's basically just showing these can handle the full weight of the truck. I highly recommend avoiding that, just because you're putting all the stress through the parts, and with the metal pieces on the side, it's really unnecessary. But I just want to show you guys that these parts are extremely strong and durable, and I will be making a metal version for those of you who are going to be a lot more hardcore bashers. So please wait for that if that's what you're planning on doing with the truck. But I guarantee you for 90% of these, most of you will have no issues at all. So. Still good. Don't run over me. Front's still good, not going anywhere, so I'm gonna keep ripping this, having some fun. It's a little hard to hit this jump when I should show you guys the truck is basically as wide as it. Yeah, pretty ridiculous.